Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of Sketch Watch Play. I am John Fleury.
And I'm Christopher Wade.
And I'm Felipe Diaz-Vera.
Oh, another first-time guest, not forced-time guest.
I am a forced-time guest. Be war.
You're going to be like Chris trying to force smooth things at work after seeing Rogue One. Or was it Force Awakens where you wanted to be a Jedi, Chris?
Yes, it was Force Awakens where I wanted to be a Jedi. This is I was hoping this wasn't going to go like, yeah, Felipe does want to be here, not against his will at all, right, Felipe?
So
I do want to be here, not against my will at all.
Nope, I invited him on Twitter, or Tumblr, simple as that. But so for those who we've mentioned, obviously, Generation Animation, the very fun podcast on the Fan Up Network, several times in the past, and both me and Chris have guested on it recently. And a couple episodes ago, we had our first crossover on this show where we got one of the co-hosts, Tyler, to talk all things Marvel. Though in reality, I reached out to Felipe at the same time, and all it came down to was that Tyler responded first. So
yes, he was quicker on the draw than I am. He's always on his freaking Twitter machine.
He's got a lot of followers. He's got to appease them.
Yes. So, but
obviously, I always kept it on the back burner. Let's get Felipe and hopefully all three of the other hosts at some point. But that will come in due time. But Felipe, for any of our listeners who still haven't listened to the show, tell us about it or yourself. How would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. Well, for myself, I've been podcasting for almost a decade at this point. I've been doing podcasts since I was just about to graduate high school, for a various quality of various topics. I'm probably most noted for hosting for about 3 years RBR Weekly Wrestling Talk, which is still to this day one of the most downloaded pro wrestling podcasts. I'm just not on it anymore.
You guest appearances sometimes.
Yeah,
though.
Yes. But I left the show to focus on a passion project of mine. Thanks to both Dave Roberts and William R. Washington, us three got together and formed a show called Generation Animation, which is a podcast dedicated to all things animation, cartoons, anime, feature-length movies, shorts, internet stuff.
You've done Newgrounds and Homestar episodes, and they're awesome.
Yes, we have. We've done music video specials.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've had people have worked on music videos on the show, which was great.
And you yourself have liked to make AMVs in the past, right?
I used to be a huge anime music video editor.
Oh my god!
I don't suggest going to my amv.org page. It is a horrid thing actually. Of don't.
What file format is it in?
They're all WMVs, and
that shows the
most
age.
of them. And no, let me show you something. At the time, my internet connection was crap, and so a lot of the music videos, in order to upload them, I shrunk them down to video for broadband setting on Windows Movie Maker, which means a good chunk of them are 3 minutes long and 4 megabytes big.
Jeez.
So,
wow. What's 4 megabytes in Blu-ray dimensions? How long can you make that? Or 4K?
Probably not even a second.
Yeah. Chris, what were you saying?
I got a bunch of friends who are they're just coming down off the high of the recent Voltron season 3 reveals. So there's a whole bunch of anime music videos for Voltron, and I'm just dying under the pile that I've been seeing lately, and I'm just like, man, it's just like in high school.
Well, high school you get a lot more of. I guess this is kind of a timely subject, but probably not the best time to bring it up. I remember Lincoln Ball Z was a subject matter.
Timely.
Basically, if you were an anime music video person, there was a good 50-50 chance you did a Dragon Ball Z music video set to Linkin Park.
They left their mark on the otaku fandom without even needing to.
That's exactly right.
And I'll just say my main memory of when I tried my high school's anime club was the day somebody brought an RC car and a girl started running around on all fours, chasing it, making animal noises. That's when I went, I'm out.
You're out?
I did anime club
I was dude, I am fucking in.
Well, that's where we differ.
Nah,
it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't the only thing.
I did anime club for 2 weeks, and then someone got really pissed off. I didn't know who Shoji from Naruto was, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Felipe, we can't be friends anymore. You don't know who Shoji is? What the hell?
Are you watching?
He's the fat guy that became the butterfly guy.
Oh, that's who he is. Okay.
Do you refer to Boku no Hero Academia as My Hero Academia?
Yeah.
Poser.
You don't use the full Japanese phrasing. You baka.
Baka.
I will give my high school club credit, though. That's what introduced me to XL Saga and Cromartie High School.
Ooh, excellent.
Oh, nice.
Oh, geez.
Cromartie is fantastic.
Yeah, you guys did a Cromartie episode. Tyler hated it, but of course.
Tyler hates most.
Well, okay, I always brag that I'm the one who got him to watch. Well, I requested Tiger and Bunny, and that's the one anime where you felt out and I loved it.
Yeah, but that's why I really like the fact that we've been doing the entire year towards the list, where that instead of doing our own personal picks, we're still our picks.
What is the list for viewers who don't know?
Okay, so we have a list on the Fanoff blog, where basically we would ask all of our listeners just to suggest stuff for us to watch. Mm-hmm. And it's been growing for the past 5 years, and I think as of last I checked, we're at 470 items that still haven't been mentioned.
Wow.
And a lot to have.
And a lot to have. Again, we're at episode 241 by the time this goes up. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure.
But I've submitted quite a few that have been picked, like Wall-E, Simpsons, the Sonic OVA.
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you, because I know everything you're going to do.
Strange, isn't it? People, full disclosure,
man.
We're doing a Sonic episode very soon. We've teased that for a while.
Man.
And it's going to be all things Sonic.
I would love. Can we please do the Sonic movie? Can we
yeah,
please?
We're gonna talk all the games and cartoons and probably stuff like. Oh, Felipe, you mentioned that ties into Felipe. You mentioned you're mourning the recent information that the Archie comic
in August 10th. I said that was gonna be the very last Sonic Archie comic.
Yeah,
which it's been an up and down ride for the Sonic Archie comics.
Right.
To be honest. I've been reading them since forever, mainly because I got into the Sonic TV show, the Sad AM show, and I learned, you can learn more about people like Sally and Antoine in the comics. And I'm like,
the comics came first, apparently.
Yeah, the comics came first.
And they were originally super jokey. They were basically like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog with the Sad AM characters. Then they got great.
Yeah, but there'd be weird, like, semi-dark moments, like, oh no, they killed Tommy the Turtle.
When you say that, just on its own. Well, I do remember. Go ahead.
They built a memorial garden, by the way, when they rebuilt Metropolis. They called it the Tommy the Turtle Memorial Garden.
Does anybody? Do you remember the Endgame mini arc where they thought Sally was dead for like 3 issues?
Yeah. I vaguely remember that. The two things that stand out the most to me when I remember the Archie comic is the fact that Sally once kneed Knack the Weasel in the balls and it made a crunch sound, which means canonically Sonic characters have balls.
Wow. Okay. They must be very small.
Wow.
Yes. And two, they did a whole thing where they, like, Mobius future past, like, 20 years later arc.
Yeah.
Where it's like they fast forwarded to the future and somehow
Knuckles
Shadow.
kids.
Yeah, Knuckles has like 3 kids, which all of them got retconned because one of the
Ken
writers.
Penders. Yes.
Yeah.
Look up Ken Penders, people. He's an asshole.
Yeah, was a jerk. He's like, I'm going to leave and take the characters with me, and I'm going to sue. And Sega's like, go ahead, take them.
I mean, which is terrifying 3D renders of the Echidna ladies.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants. Sexy Echidnas. Truthfully, let's be fair, that is what some people want.
Not a good decision.
No.
And it's really sad seeing Sonic and Archie part ways. Like I have Mega Drive myself, and I love Tyson's work, even his original stuff. Like, have you guys read Diesel at all?
No,
I have not. No,
I read a little bit of Boxer Hockey.
Diesel's fucking great. Boxer Hockey is cool too. But yeah, check it out. I actually have if you guys want to borrow it one day.
I'll talk to you about it sometime. But I think another sad thing is it's like 20 years and then like probably no actual conclusion now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sort of okay. Like, I'm sort of.
I know
okay
they rebooted it
because
a couple
here's the
years ago,
thing.
basically.
Like, it's been up and down. Like, there's some good stuff lately. Like the stuff with the Hooligans, which is the team of Knack, Bark, and Bean the Dynamite, that have been like hilarious. Like whenever they show up lately. And there's this really great Mammoth Mogul arc that happened like 3 years ago that I freaking loved. So there was this whole thing where Mammoth Mogul, in case you don't know, he's an immortal mammoth with psychic powers.
Yeah, he's like one of the
But he literally, every time he fights Sonic, he loses. It's just fate. And so one time, like, I love how they end his storyline. It's like he kind of tricks Sonic to free him, and then Sonic's like, okay, what are you going to do now? He's like, I'll wait. See, I'm immortal and you're not. And I keep losing to you. So I'll just wait until you die.
Did they ever bring back, in recent years, did they bring back Enerjack?
No Enerjack stuff. Oh, man, I had the Enerjack.
Remember when Knuckles had his own
It
comic
wasn't
book?
Knuckles, then Knuckles was Enerjack.
Oh, I thought Enerjack was like his ancestor or something.
Yeah. And then
I
like
remember
his
the
ancestor
dark-
guy died.
There
From,
was like that one of the
e-
Dark Echidna Brotherhood, and like they flashed back
Yeah.
years ago to the death of the guy.
Oh
who
god,
came
all
back.
the Scourge of the Hedgehog stuff.
Oh, that's who like evil twin Sonic basically became, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Evil
that's
Sonic
Sonic
became
fan
Scourge.
Yeah, a little better, I guess. But we can't go on Sonic forever because we do have this is another
Yeah,
episode with a time
yeah.
limit. Though, Felipe, I know, speaking of video games, there are some recent announcements you wanted to basically
Oh
touch
yeah,
about.
so last weekend, as of recording, Evo happened, which Evo is
Yes.
the biggest fighting game.
You are a big
tournament
fighting game
in
fan.
the
You go
world.
to tournaments quite often.
I've gone to tournaments. I've been to locals and majors, and they're a blast. If you ever get a chance to go to one of the big fighting game tournaments in the country, I would say Evo, obviously, CEO in Orlando, final round in Atlanta, NorCal or SoCal regionals in California.
Call me if there's one in DC.
There's a lot in the New York metropolitan area, but not DC. Like
That's
a
still
lot of
a
them
4-hour
happen.
drive.
Yeah, that's still a long way. Yeah, all of them happen. Nothing happens. Like Midwest has a pumping scene, but they don't have any majors. Like Xanadu happens in Maryland, and that's like the big arcade for like
That's
Smash.
my favorite Olivia Newton-John movie. I'm so glad it's on. But what was
but-
the stuff they?
There was a bunch of fighting game announcements that happened from like a bunch of companies. Street Fighter gave us Abigail, which is a Final Fight character nobody cares about. I don't want to talk about that. But I do want to talk about the fact that Tekken 7's second DLC character is going to be Geese from from Fatal Fury.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
SNK.
And basically, for some reason, like every fighting game decided we're going to be Smash now and bring in all these third parties.
Yeah, they already had Akuma.
Yeah, and now they have Geese with the Invincible and Die Forever.
I'm surprised there are no Tekken characters in Street Fighter V yet.
I mean, they already had Tekken, Street Fighter.
I
Cross
know,
Tekken,
but I mean
which-
like main titles having cameos like that.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see some of them, but I'm kind of done with Tekken characters in Street Fighter settings right now. I'm fine with the opposite though. But Geese was a really cool reveal. Blaze Blue announced that they were doing a huge crossover game where they were going to have Persona characters,
Yeah.
Under Night and Birth characters, and Ruby characters.
Yeah, that actually got me. That actually got me pretty excited.
And that is relevant because you guys have both Felipe, you guys have reviewed the Persona anime and you've done several episodes on Ruby.
Yeah, we've gone up to Volume 3 on Ruby. I know Volume 4 just wrapped, but give us a breather on that one. But yeah, the fact that there's a Blaze Blue crossover game now that has like, let's just bring all the anime together. Like all the Arc System games, Blaze Blue, Uniel, Persona, and now Ruby, which never even had a fighting game in the first place.
It
Like,
had a
there's
game made by some indie company, but that was it was like a hack and slash.
Yeah. I know a few people were upset there were no Guilty Gear characters, but Guilty Gear is kind of its own thing at this point, and I'm kind of fine with that.
I'm kind of surprised, like, and glad how Ruby is like blowing up. Like it's a gradual blow up too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started getting into the series, and they had like a special Alamo Draft House kind of thing over by my area, so I caught it. And I've been keeping tabs on it. I'm not a big fan of the story, but I really like the gumption that it pulls with it. Like I like the ambition that it has, and I do like the characters. It's surprisingly fun.
Yeah, the best thing
first
Ruby has
episode,
going
too.
for it is its characters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Go
the
ahead,
action. I know that was
Yeah.
Monteum's specialty. Granted, he's
Oh
not
yeah,
working
yeah,
anymore,
but yeah.
obviously.
Monteum's action scenes were fantastic, but I think the one driving force is that almost every main character is really likable. Even some of the side characters that only show up once in a blue moon, like freaking Velvet, like freaking Bunny Girl that can copy powers, like awesome and things like that.
Yeah, there's like 6,798 characters now, and I'm fine with that. It's cool. Their latest short that just dropped was it was like a small thing with Weiss.
It was like a Weiss thing. I didn't watch it because like I said I haven't seen any 4 yet, and so I don't know if there was spoilers involved.
I think you can. I think because I haven't watched any of. I haven't watched much. I only watched one episode of Volume 4.
Yeah, because like normally I wouldn't care about spoilers, but season 3 ended on a character, not naming specifics, a character dying and a character getting dismembered.
Yeah,
So-
that was not my favorite time. Season 3 was. I have a few feelings about season 3, but I can say that the short that came out, like technologically, like visually, like it's a great step up. I think they're starting to play around with some lighting effects. And
Did they use the
particle physics
same
there.
visual style overall for that short?
They kind of did, but you can really tell they're like all the
Technical
lighting that
improvements.
that they've done with the show is completely different here.
They probably got more of a budget after the show's
Yeah.
been successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only other fighting game thing I really want to tackle is the fact that Dragon Ball FighterZ is looking better the more I look at it.
We talked about that.
Oh my God! Dragon Ball FighterZ looks fucking amazing.
So pretty.
Crazy amazing. I really want it.
Take the best
there's gonna be a
world.
closed beta at the end of August. That's
sign
gonna
up.
have 9 characters. Those 9 characters being Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Cell, Frieza, Boo, Piccolo, Krillin, and Trunks.
I like.
Okay.
And
I like that they dropped Trunks. Like they dropped some screenshots of Trunks just like doing like his poses like when he killed Frieza like a week ago.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're really nailing like all the visual memories of the old show.
Yeah, and also one minor thing to aside, I think this is the first major fighting game title that I've seen head up by a woman.
Yeah.
Is the director,
the executive producer. I forget her name, but like this is the first time I've seen a major fighting game head, because you think of the head fighting, you think of like Ono, Harada, all those people.
I only know Sakurai.
Sakurai.
It smashes its own thing, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, but like when I saw like this is the head director of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and it's like, oh, it's like some young-looking woman that actually knows her stuff, because like
That's cool.
That's pure Dragon Ball when you look on your screen.
Right. I mean,
Like-
we shouldn't forget, like, Dragon Ball, it's like a cultural institution in Japan. Like, I think it's up there with some stuff like Astro Boy. It's just like, it's like their Batman Superman equivalent.
Yeah, but I'm excited for all the fighting games that come out next year, like all of them at this point.
Yeah. And for listeners, we did, Chris briefly talked Dragon Ball Super in one of our earlier episodes. Even though I think between the two of us, I'm the bigger fan, and you've mainly watched it because Serena loves it.
Can I say something weird?
Yeah.
I haven't watched. I've watched clips of Super, but none of it.
Oh, I still haven't watched
And
any either.
I haven't watched any of like the movies. But for some reason,
Oh.
just from clips alone, I really, really dig Beerus.
I've watched the first half or so of Battle of Gods, and it's really enjoyable. And yeah, Beerus is kind of a great character because he is so omnipotent but so lackadaisical, which is
I'm
funny.
kind of hoping he makes it into fighters, because the fact that Golden Frieza exists means they're not.
I'd be surprised if he
exclusively
didn't.
To Z.
I'd really be surprised if they didn't put. I'd be surprised if they didn't put Beerus in there. I would love for them to do it because
Really quick, most unlikely character that you want to see in Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yajirobe.
Same. Yes, I want
Quar.
Yajirobe or Yamcha.
Launch.
Captain Ginyu.
Bulma.
Bulma.
Nail.
Pretty much. There's
Just
like
the Red
200
Ribbon
characters.
Army trio from
Circle.
the original Dragon Ball.
Oh man.
That friend of Vidal's has his camera broken by Piccolo's mind.
There are so many characters.
I know, that's why I'm just
time
making deep cuts.
out. We got to recognize the strongest person that should be in Dragon Ball FighterZ, Mr. Satan. He should be in there.
I said him.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
have a
I didn't
feeling
say
he's
I didn't
gonna
hear you
make
say
it.
it. Sorry.
I remember.
I have a weird feeling that Satan's going to make it in.
I really hope
Well,
so.
I know. Like, I'll bet there's going to be one like crazy deep cut among. Like, it'll probably be mostly iconic characters, but they'll do like one out there pick just for fun.
Like out of the 9 that were announced, I think the only lock that I haven't seen announced is I think Skinny Boo. I don't really know what his official name is. Like the
you talk about before he goes Super Boo.
before he becomes Kid Boo.
I think there's when he absorbs Piccolo and Gotenks, he becomes Super Boo. But
Yeah.
before that, when he's fighting Mystic Gohan, I think he's just referred to as Evil Boo.
I can only
I'm
remember
going off the
Fat
Bruce
Boo in, like,
Faulkner
the last
canon here.
form.
Yeah, I think the only other 2 main locks I think are going to be him and Android 18.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind one of the androids, 17 or
me
18,
too.
maybe both. But so yeah, some really cool fighting stuff coming out. And actually, on the topic of games, I'm just going to gush for a second, guys. Kingdom Hearts 3 next year, fucking finally.
I love this alternate universe where apparently Andy collects anime figurines now.
Yeah.
Well, they've said it takes place between Toy Story 2 and 3, so I guess we're like, oh, in the years while Andy was growing up, he and his entire neighborhood were abducted by Heartless.
And from what I'm hearing, Nomura is trying to make this canon to Toy Story because
Yes.
it happens between
That's
Toy
insane.
Story 2 and 3.
That is because other than toys being alive, Toy Story is very grounded in the real world.
Yeah.
It's
I'm really excited by it, but we've been waiting like 20 damn years for Kingdom Hearts 3.
It feels that
it's
way.
gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
When it comes out, it's gonna get.
2025.
I'm waiting to see footage from that Big Hero 6 what they announced.
And Tangled. Most they've shown is of Mount Olympus.
They've shown only Mount Olympus and a little bit of the Toy Story stuff. Other than that, and Twilight Town randomly too.
Which is cool, but we've seen Hercules. Show us the completely new franchises.
Yeah, I'm a little tired of seeing Hercules.
I will say, did you watch the Japanese clip of Hades?
Yeah.
It sounds just like James Woods. It's so
really
weird.
Does. It really does.
You have Maleficent and Pete over
Donald
there.
Duck is something I'll never get used to.
What is?
Japanese Donald Duck.
Because he sounds the same.
Japanese Donald, Japanese Goofy. How does Goofy know Japanese? Look, seriously, did he just pick up Rosetta Stone? He doesn't. He can't read, guys. I'm gonna say it. Goofy cannot read.
I'll bet he can read. He's probably just. Oh, just to watch. They're going to do a short reveals that Goofy has been a genius all these decades. It's all part of his elaborate plan.
If Goofy's a genius, then his son Max is a Keyblade master.
I have been wanting Max to be.
I'd love to see Max in
yeah, he's perfect for it.
Yeah, he
angsty teen.
Skateboards just like all the other Keyblade masters. Why not?
Yep. And so, yeah, I'm hoping we can get it by late next year. But at least, I mean, even if it gets a little delayed past that, then it's just comforting knowing we are really in the home stretch now.
We'll see.
Don't jinx it, Chris.
I'm hoping.
But the other thing I'll just say real quick, I've had a crazy, like, uncommonly productive 2 weeks in terms of stuff I put out recently. So Chris, our last episode we did talk about our pet projects. So to go along with it, I did put up a link to a couple clips of Spacious, the original cartoon we talked.
Yeah.
Only like 39 seconds because I just wanted to put up what was done and showable, if that's a word. But the bigger thing that I'm definitely trying to promote now is I've finally gone full steam ahead with my plan of several years to start doing YouTube reviews. And the guy actually, we're talking on Discord, so the avatar you see me guys have, that's what I show myself as in the videos. Cool. My webcam sucks and it would look boring, so I just made a little cartoon me with like a room with all my systems. And so my first review is of the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Now I saw what you were doing with your character and putting all the games and stuff in your room.
Yeah,
I think I'm on to you because you have like one amiibo or two amiibos on your shelf, and I've been to your house. You got like 20 damn amiibos.
I'm gonna add more amiibos.
You're gonna update them.
I'm just prioritizing favorites. So got Wario and Donkey Kong. I'm doing Link now.
Yeah, I'm on to you,
I'm adding more systems. I just didn't want to keep holding off the video just because background elements weren't completely done because the base.
Random aside, are you also a Skylanders type?
I am a recovering Skylanders type. Full disclosure, I still have in my closet 2 tubs of like dozens of Skylanders figurines. I played up to Turbo Superchargers, and I did really enjoy them, but they got stale, so I haven't played Imaginators. Probably won't play what comes forward, and I'm looking to sell them. That said, I do recommend the Skylanders Netflix cartoon. It's cute.
Oh, okay.
And very well animated.
Oh God, did you see the Crash Bandicoot?
Yes,
Skylanders
I watched
cartoon?
that one, and it threw me off because
Extreme Dash Time!
Well, what threw me off about it is it's kind of cool that Crash talked, but they played him like a real cool guy that everybody looks up to. When
he's an extreme Australian.
That's I like that he's Australian. But anybody who's played Crash Bandicoot, he's a dope. He's an idiot.
What is this? What is this blasphemy? I don't like it. He's an extreme Australian guy? He's like Skylanders?
And he makes a cameo in an episode of the Skylanders cartoon because for the last game, he and Dr. Cortex were figures, and you could unlock a level with them.
I don't like this story.
The level is fine. Like the game Crash, I'm cool with actually, but there's just something about him like having the catchphrase like extreme random thing. I think
it's just mainly like how cool they played him because Crash is an idiot, and yeah, he shouldn't talk much. Granted, it wouldn't be as good an episode if he was going whoa the whole time.
Yeah, I've been seeing a whole bunch of whoa gifs all over.
What is
Twitter,
that one from? Where it's like the PS1 model like spazzing out? Is that from the game?
That's from Oni G. Oni plays.
Did he edit that model himself?
Yeah, he had like a rig. He used it initially to make a video for Games Done Quick where he wanted to name the Tifa character Beefaroni.
Okay.
And he just kept playing with the model.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't remember the games glitching out that hard. But, so everybody, I'll put the link to the review in the podcast description, but the Insane Trilogy is really enjoyable. the reviews are correct. But there is one other thing I think, Chris, I just found out you have watched as well. And it's been causing a bit of a stir just because maybe part of its format, because it's kind of the first thing of its kind on Netflix, and that is the recent Castlevania series.
Who are you?
The man who'll kill Dracula.
Castlevania. Now, I'm actually not familiar with Castlevania. At all.
I played a little bit of Symphony of the Night. I played some of the GBA ones. I played 64 and regretted it. And I played a little bit of Super Castlevania 4. I think a lot of people say, like, because it's kind of in three eras of style, like linear side-scroller, Metroidvania, and then the later ones went for more like a 3D beat-em-up, God of War type thing.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to admit, like, literally all I know of Castlevania is, what is a man, grass break?
But a miserable pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Now,
they're fun games.
The show itself, though, like from what I gathered after reading up on it and kind of catching a couple of back behind the scenes videos, it's essentially like they got two people from the Hobbit series, the guy who plays Thorin Oakenshield and another one,
and Dracula is one of the other dwarves.
Yeah, and they do a really good job.
They do.
Like
voice acting. And there's a bishop played by Matt Frewer, a.k.a. Max Headroom.
Yeah.
And Max Felipe just muted his mic.
It was pretty good. I liked all of it. And now Castlevania itself is like 4 episodes?
Yes, that is one of my complaints. Is Felipe, are you back with us?
Yeah, I had to cough heavily.
Okay,
so I didn't want that to be on radio.
No, that's one of my big complaints is it doesn't even feel like the way it ends doesn't even really feel like a cliffhanger. It feels like you're 1/3 through a season.
Yeah,
I guess really technically part of the main conflict is cleared up, but the fact that Dracula is not seen past like the first episode and a half, despite the whole conflict centering around him, and the first episode being about him, I do like that he is not an evil for the sake of being an evil person. He is actually quite reasonable and justified.
The funny thing is that from the majority of people who have watched this thing, and it's like 4 episodes, so it doesn't really take that long to binge through or re-binge it if you ever want to.
Yeah, and they're all like 20 minutes.
The majority of people really like this thing. Now, it's not the most perfect thing, and there's a ton of exposition in the first episode. I happen to like exposition as long as it's done well, so that really didn't bother me.
What keeps me going through this little part is it is a gorgeous looking show.
Oh, it is.
The animation isn't as fluid on the level of something like Avatar Korra, but the designs are great and the backgrounds are amazing. Like the lighting, the color schemes, it's great.
So this is done.
Frederator.
It's done by the animation itself is done.
By another company.
Yeah, Federated Studios and Powerhouse Animation Studios.
Yes.
So I think Powerhouse did a majority of the animation. Animation.
Can I just say though, having grown up on like Fairly Odd Parents, every time you watch this gritty show and at the end of the credits, Frederator.
Yeah,
it weirded me out.
That did not fit. Hearing the fact that they really try to make the show like they got inspiration from the Berserk anime, and for any of us who Berserk is
the ending's not as bad as Berserk, Felipe. I'll tell you that much.
It's not as bad as Berserk, but Berserk has some rough times.
Have you watched the modern Berserk anime?
No, I didn't hear good
infamous
things.
GIF of Guts talking looks like he's being dragged and dropped across the screen.
Yeah, I didn't hear any good things about the animation.
Yeah. The Berserk, the new Berserk series is not great. Now the Berserk movies, while they're questionable in quality with the CG and the mix of 2D animation, they get better by the third film. About a third film, where the other shoe fucking drops and characters just die in massive quantities is outrageous. And that film itself is good. But hearing that they took inspiration from Berserk and its gore and how it handles its action scenes and how it handles its character development, it's really, really well done. I got to give it props.
This thing is the equivalent of an R-rated. Like they couldn't make a movie like this in theaters because we know about like studio. I mean, what do you mean not PG animated movie? But it's not consistently super violent, but the parts where it are like Jesus. Like they got audible reactions. Like there's a part where Trevor fights some priests. One runs at him. He just throws his whip, and you see the priest's eyeball just splattered against a wall.
Can God.
And the initial
Trevor-
massacre of that village when the demons first come down, there's like a woman missing half her face, just intestines everywhere. It's nuts.
Now,
can I pull aside for 1 second? So
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter because I didn't watch any of the Castlevania, and apparently the reason why the Archie partnership is ending with Sonic is because they're partnering with IDW.
Who's
For a
IDW?
brand new series. IDW, if you don't know, if you're doing the current Ninja Turtles run, which is
For a new Sonic series?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully, it doesn't draw inspiration from Forces. That Infinite trailer looked pretty silly.
Oh my! They know they're being fan fictiony, right? Like
It's weird because from Colors onward, they've been super jokey. So like, are they going to be super jokey while having like end of the world revolution? You may call
they
me
have to
Infinite.
be aware of like you have classic Sonic and your own OC fighting this big ominous evil that quote unquote is even faster than Sonic.
And he looks
that
like
reads like fanfiction.net.
And he
material.
looks like every
really
grimdark fan character ever. It's weird.
It really does, and I really think that at some point the writers were just like, we've been waiting to do this for quite some time, and we've been looking through your DeviantArt.com galleries. We know what you want.
Maybe it'll be tongue in cheek. I can't judge until there's more footage out there, but we'll be talking more Sonic very soon.
My point being is I'm excited about a Sonic IDW comic series because they also the new Ninja Turtles is great. Tank Girl's recent runs have been fantastic from IDW. Like
cool.
I'm excited.
Well, that's good to hear. Okay.
Yes. But
Awesome.
Castlevania, we're talking about the violence, obviously, and like I said, it looks really nice. I'm trying to see, Chris, is there anything you want to add?
Well, the main draw for me, I mean, of course, the violence is cool. And the way it's written is pretty cool. For me, however, knowing that Dracula isn't entirely an awful evil being was satisfying, but Trevor fucking Belmont makes the show. I dig this guy.
He's such a prick.
He is such a prick.
Granted, his family's been persecuted for generations, so I'd be grumpy too. But even when like they're good people, he's considering helping. He's still being like a dick about it.
He's a relatable prick, and
he's perpetually drunk too. He's almost like Jack Sparrow-ish in his speech pattern.
Perpetually drunk. Like the show isn't like it's not Shakespearean in nature, though there are some characters who try to be. And it's not like, it doesn't try to be overly poetic like you kind of think Dracula should be. Trevor fucking Belmont is Trevor fucking Belmont. I wish I could just...
His own mess of a man.
I wish I could go into that a little bit more than that, but he is just such a dick and wants to be left alone, and I love it.
His ordeal with that main order of mage scientists he keeps wanting to help. It keeps reminding me. Have you ever seen No Country for Old Men?
I'm aware of it. I know it
was not a spoiler. In the first half hour, Josh Brolin's character keeps getting into bad situations because he sees people in need, and he thinks around and just keeps going to himself, well, all right. And I kept imagining Trevor like, well, all right.
No Country for Old Men. That was a Coen Brothers movie, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, that was the one with the villain. I forget his name.
Oh, Javier Bardem as Sugar.
Yeah.
Villain.
He was a fucking cool villain. I liked him.
Oh, you have seen that movie?
Yeah, if I remember it correctly, he's the one that essentially said he gave the guy a coin.
Yes,
and he flipped. Okay, he said call it, and that let him.
It's so tense.
That clued him in on whether or not this villain was going to kill a person.
Yes, Felipe, have you seen that movie?
I haven't. I know it was nominated for a million Oscars, but
it's really good. I feel like the only reason it lost that Best Picture was, I think it was a good year for movies because There Will Be Blood also came out. I think that might have won. That's
Drink Your Milkshake, etc., etc.
Everybody quotes that, but there's a whole other movie behind it, and naturally the end is super gratifying because of part of the scene. But other things about Castlevania. Okay, I'll say real quick. Yes, it's a hard. Maybe I'm the one who thought this, but it's kind of cool that it's hard for violence and heavy themes. Like it's got a the church is super corrupt in this. Like it's a very heavy anti-organized religion thing. But when I first heard about this thing and all the imagery that stuff, I'm surprised and kind of thankful they didn't also go for like tits because it's an adult cartoon like sexing it up. Does anybody else feel that way? I kept waiting.
Wow, you're right. That was actually pretty refreshing. Like
I kept waiting.
It would have been super easy for
Jackie has a wife. There's a girl he's helping later on, but no.
It would have been super easy for them to go to like the Spawn route or the Aeon Flux route, where it's like a lot of titillating, like
just because
titillating shots of this is an adult cartoon. Yeah. No, it just has adult themes.
The story they've set up doesn't call for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to have naked women running around when like they're trying to fight for their home.
I knew there was something missing in my adult cartoon.
Oh, I'm covered in blood. Now let me go to this randomly convenient shower.
Yeah, okay, well. Hey, Street Fighter 2 did it.
Point. Yeah. That was pretty refreshing.
When Street Fighter 2 did it, it made sense. Because, like, it was Chun-Li being vulnerable and attacked by Vega. When they did it in the Tekken animated series, that made no sense. It was just Anna taking a shower just for Anna taking a shower.
I want everybody to go listen to the second episode of Generation Animation because it is the angriest you will ever see one of the other co-hosts, Bianca, because she holds Tekken dearly. And there was a point where she just straight up screams.
Oh, God.
The when we did Tekken the animated
yeah, she
picture,
was, I think you picked it, and she'd go like, Felipe, I hate you for making me watch this.
Because I genuinely loved that movie when I was younger. I mean, how can you hate stabbing westward and badly dubbed anime?
Well, I do love the Sonic.
Why do you hate your father? It's because he threw you off that cliff.
Heihachi catching an axe with his teeth.
I do love badly dubbed anime, that's for sure.
I still love the Sonic OVA. And that dub's dog shit.
Yeah.
We just quoted a while ago. But we should probably get to our main topic, but I will say... I think Castlevania is a show that it didn't floor me. I'm not going like, you gotta see this. This is the greatest thing ever. This saved video game meditations. But it's solid. I'm really excited because they announced season 2 like immediately. I think it has been very well received. And I hope it lays a groundwork for similar shows of that ilk, even if just on Netflix.
Yeah, I dig it. And I know the overexcitement may put a couple of people off because, that's generally how people our age work. But I mean, honestly, it's like 4 episodes. I mean, if you're not watching another show on Netflix or Hulu, give it a shot. See what you like.
I'll say this: it's probably the best thing to bear the Konami name in some time.
Oh yeah,
not hard, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think it is about time for me to render because we're not going to talk about our main thing until I'm done saving what we have. So I just punked the audience.
Oh shit! I actually forgot what we were about to talk about.
You just Ashton Kutchered everybody.
We're talking about
where's your trucker hat, buddy?
All right, hang on.
For a moment, I thought, because I haven't listened to a full episode of the show yet, like, we're going to render. I'm like, is that what you call going into the main segment of your show?
We're going to render Powerpuff Girls. No, that's just my name for, saving the MP3 file.
Yeah, I know, but like, I thought that was legitimately like what you call segment. Okay, well, that's enough of the opening talk. Now it's time to render.
No, I have occasional computer problems, so if I crash during an episode, I'd like to at least have half of it saved.
You're actually onto something, Felipe. I think if you could start doing that, John, you get a sweet guitar riff right after you say it and just play it.
Oh, okay, let me try it out. Let's render. Oh, wow, did you hear that? Listen to that. Render. Yeah. Render. Fuck yeah.
Very well then, I will tell you my favorite story about the greatest conqueror who ever lived, Napoleon. He was a mighty man, feared by all who looked up to him. Using his genius and his loyal army, he conquered all of Europe, then all of Russia, and finally the whole world. The end.
This story's all wrong! Napoleon's 1807 seizure of Portugal and the subsequent rebellion by the Spaniards cost France over 300,000 casualties, untold sums of money, and contributed to the eventual weakening of the Napoleonic Empire. And your analysis on the invasion of Russia is also incorrect. Napoleon's invasion of 1812 resulted in massive casualties of his troops due to starvation and inclement conditions, and ended in a disastrous retreat from Moscow with his army defeated. Yeah, dummy! And when he returned to France, the allied nations of Europe united against him, which led to his eventual defeat at the Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815, whereafter he was exiled to the island of St. Helena, where he died a miserable death from stomach cancer on May 5th, 1821. Stupid!
No, stop! I want you to stop!
Now, when people talk about the manliest cartoons ever made, there's always a guaranteed short list, like He-Man, Cromartie High School, obviously. Mm-hmm. But what is the most manly cartoon that has ever graced our Western shores? I am talking, of course, about the Powerpuff Girls.
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so
sugar, spice, everything nice.
And Chemical X. What is Chemical X? They never say what it is except that it's not good.
Chemical, no, I'm I've watched, and I should link you guys after the show of Who, What, Where, When, Why, How, the Powerpuff Girls documentary, because I own the 6 DVD box set of the Powerpuff Girls.
There's a documentary?
There's a documentary exclusively for the DVD where they interview all the voice actors and directors and storyboard artists. I'll link you to it after the
is it on YouTube?
Sweet.
Technically, no. I uploaded it and unlisted it to show the 4chan like 6 years ago.
Okay, but just to do a quick summary, we're talking all things Powerpuff Girls, which I feel like it could still be. Maybe I'm just biased, but it could be the biggest hit Cartoon Network's ever had among their original series.
Probably.
Adventure Time might give it a run for its money, but I'm still not 100% sure.
Adventure Time, in terms of maybe in terms of viewership, it's probably up there still to this day.
Yeah, because more people have access to it.
Merch sales, it was a different time in the 90s. And
right. And so it was. It has a funny genesis because it was created by a guy named Craig McCracken, and people might also know him because he went on to create Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and more recently Wander Over Yonder. And
people still petitioning for that season 3.
Damn right.
But it was originally created as because he went to Cal Arts, like many talented TV show creators do, and for his thesis film, he made a really simple little short called Whoop Ass Stew. Are either of you guys aware of this?
They were called the Whoop Ass Girls.
Yes.
Again, I know all this information because of the basically with sugar, spice, everything nice. And they actually throw in a can of Whoop Ass.
I like that. I like that better than Chemical X. But so it was just a very simple joke he made because part of the joke is the juxtaposition that you have these super cutesy. Very stylized. has it ever been confirmed that they were
Bubbles and Bud? For the record.
What? that's a boy's name. Of course, now we also know she was named Buttercup just because it starts with a B. But I don't know if he created the short with intention of doing something more with it. But when go ahead, Felipe.
So basically, the gist of it is he made the short just because he liked his friend, roommate in college, just liked throwing the word whoop ass around.
So he made something around it.
And so he was working for after college. He worked for Hanna-Barbera and Two Stupid Dogs.
Yes, that was one of the first things he worked on, maybe the first. And they did. For those who remember the What a Cartoon show, that was where they would show a bunch of original shorts, and some of them we picked up for series. I think almost
he did Powerpuff.
Almost
Dexter's
all the original
came first.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo was also on it. Courage was a lot of original Cartoon Network shows saw their birth officially there, and there were 2 shorts of Powerpuff Girls, and a couple years later, I guess because he probably helped make Dexter's Lab a big, because that was also a very successful
basically he initially showed the Powerpuff Girls short teaser or whatever to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon turned it down.
That's so weird because that happens sometimes. I remember, it
happens more frequently.
The Proud Family was originally pitched Nickelodeon. Phineas and Ferb was originally pitched Nickelodeon.
And Adventure Time was originally pitched
the Adventure Time pilot was made under Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
They keep letting go of pretty good shows. But eventually it got picked up, and very quickly it became huge because this was also around the area where SpongeBob was becoming a thing, and this was kind of
SpongeBob was 99.
But it was that's what I mean.
SpongeBob was 94.
No. The show started in 98.
Oh, did it? I remember.
It was when I first it was right around the time I first got cable, and it was just getting started along with Ed, and Eddie, and they were promoting it, both of them.
I'm not sure about that, but we can check.
When you look it up, I don't want to crash the computer, but yes, it started in 1998, ran for a good while. Granted, the last couple of seasons were done without McCracken, because once they did the movie, he wanted to do something new, so he went more time.
Yeah, it was 98. 95 was when the What a Cartoon shorts were coming, which is what I was thinking of.
Okay.
And the What a Cartoon shorts are kind of surreal because of just little differences. Like Bubbles is voiced by Kath Soucie or whatever her name is, and it's a totally different mayor. You could tell he was still they're still trying to figure out the mayor at that point. Yeah, but pilots are often like that. But it became a big hit and lasted, I think, 6 seasons. But
6 seasons and a movie.
6 seasons, a movie, 2 specials after that, and a more recent reboot and anime that we'll get to.
The movie was so good, you guys.
The movie. Here's the thing about the movie. I think it's really well done, but I think the biggest problem with it is that Craig did it a certain way because he wanted to be juxtaposition to what.
Yeah, I was really excited for it, and I was really excited that when I heard it was going to be like darker, but it kind of lost some of the charm by doing that. Granted, it looks nice.
Craig openly said the reason why he made the movie that way is because at the time when season 4 was happening, almost all Powerpuff Girl marketing was really girly. It's like, no, this is a show for everybody.
Yeah. Okay, time for me to bring up a personal story because I remember it really frustrated me because I was really into this show when it was originally airing. It wasn't the only show I obsessed over. Pokemon was on at the same time. Toonami was getting started. There was some Nickelodeon stuff, but it probably was my favorite Cartoon Network show at that time. And my mom was worried about me. She would just see glimpses of it and be like, "Is this like?" I'm sure now she would say, like, "Is this like Dorothy? Why are you watching this, John?" And it didn't help that you would see commercials that were like basically Barbie type things, like it's their dream house with a pool and put the girls in the pool.
Which is crazy because this is one of the most violent cartoons ever made.
Yeah,
holy shit, is it violent?
There's some stuff, both violence and like innuendo. I'm surprised they got away with, and I felt very uncomfortable watching and talking about the show whenever my mom was around because I knew she was just silently judging me.
My mom made fun of me for watching Powerpuff as well.
And Chris, you said last week that was your dad with Sailor Moon.
Yeah, that was my dad with Sailor Moon, and this was before Powerpuff.
Right.
So when I started watching Powerpuff, and he still watched me, he saw me watch it. I turned to him. I was like, "I'm not going to change. I'm sorry."
And that's why you learned he had to accept you.
Yeah. Like you watch back the episodes and you see just how brutal they can be. Everyone points to, and rightfully so, the Bubble Vicious episode where ripping off the horn and throwing it through the monster.
That throwdown.
Yeah.
Well, actually, every episode, the theme song, like Buttercup knocks him in the mouth, and there's like teeth and blood everywhere. Opening theme song. I was
actually watching back a random episode where basically the Powerpuff Girls feel like they should be paid for their work as they start getting paid in candy. And Mojo
that beatdown.
And Mojo Jojo tries to
take the candy,
them, and then there's a scene where he's begging for mercy from Buttercup, and then Buttercup just steps in his mouth.
Yeah, and it's brutal. And it's such a crazy episode because they become addicts to the candy. Like when the mayor runs out of candy, they start yelling at it. They become bitches. Man.
So that probably is where they got that during one of their episodes in a newer reboot. The Powerpuff Girls in the reboot had a slumber party, and that
was an episode in the original.
Yeah, they got super crazy addicted to chocolate, or they had a binge on candy.
So it's combining 2 old episodes.
And what they essentially did was they played it like The Hangover, where Blossom wakes up, she's stumbling through the apartment, and there's like a bowl inside of the kitchen.
That's actually kind of funny. It's like the SpongeBob movie. He has an ice cream hangover.
Well, it's funny. It was funnier when they talked about it. Not so funny.
I'm going to say something right here, right now, if we're going to bring up the reboot for a second.
We can get to it later, but sure, go ahead.
Just really quick. It's bad, but it's not the worst.
It's not. There were actually a few episodes where me and Serena actually guffawed.
I watched 3 episodes
and
just
terrible.
Yeah,
I watched some issues with it.
I watched 3 episodes and sat very stone faced, but I wasn't in pain. But also, I think this made me realize I'm over when they revive things I love and don't do it well. Like when I was younger, if this had happened, like when I was still in high school or college, I would have been pissed. But now I'm just the old one's still there, so whatever.
Yeah. The new series is half of the developers is the guy that worked on Yin Yang Yo, which I think is one of the more underrated Jetix, one of the most underrated cartoons. I think it was a really pioneer in Flash animation at the time and things like that. And it's kind of the same, very hit or miss. When it misses, it really misses, but when it hits.
When it hits, they do have some pretty enjoyable episodes.
And, I'm actually going to get 2 controversial things out of the way now because same things I don't like about the old show. I think it could also be a very hit or miss show. There were a fair number of episodes that were just kind of lame, and I don't know if people agree on this.
I gotta admit, the thing about the old show and the new show. The new show doesn't really have a focus on action and violence.
No.
That's where my gripe with it.
The problem is they're trying to do the Teen Titans Go thing, but like
it doesn't feel like they fully
doing
commit to it.
Teen Titans Go is very tongue in cheek.
Yeah, and meta and stuff.
With the reboot of Powerpuff reboot of Powerpuff Girls, they're really trying to hit to get in on the teen wave of smartphone talk and everything, and it comes the OMGs and the dudes after every sentence, and the twerking.
Say yes is like
no me gusta.
It's incredibly disingenuous. Like it doesn't come off like an episode where the girls are being sisters. Yeah, sure, Blossom and Buttercup bro fist every episode. That's cute. But I kind of like the episodes when the girls are staying home when it's raining outside, like in the old version.
That episode's so good.
And I know that's old man nostalgia talking. Like it was better in my day, but no.
But the thing is, they literally did another rainy day episode in the new reboot. Like I saw a teaser for it. I didn't see the full thing.
Okay.
Oh, really?
But they treated it differently, where it's like, oh, we'll just make up our own monster, things like that. But like, it's not playing up the fun and imagination of the original.
We should probably. I want us to kind of steer things back to the original show, and we'll get to some of the alternate versions down the line.
Sure.
Interesting. Like looking at some of the voice cast for this. Like the girls themselves, I think it's kind of funny in terms of like the main three are kind of like the full spectrum of like prominence in voice acting. Like I looked up the voice of Blossom, whose name is like Kathy Kabadany. She doesn't have that many credits. She's like someone who you'll see pop up in smaller roles, but like I looked her up and I was like, the only thing I go, oh, that was that she was the older sister in Five Goes West.
Oh.
I love Five Goes West for the record.
She's Tanya. She did this scene in that movie too.
She is Tanya. That's right. Yeah,
because I rewatched the movie and you could totally hear it. But the rest of it was like
John telling me about that.
The rest of it was stuff that was either obscure or like just like stuff. I remember she popped like one episode of Teen Titans. It's like a monster or something. So she's someone who keeps working but doesn't have tons of. Then there's E.G. Daily, who's Buttercup. And okay, personal bragging here. My brother Patrick, past guest star in the show, is an actor and told me a couple years ago he took voice acting lessons from Daily.
Awesome.
And the funny thing was he brought up that she was Tommy Pickles, but he didn't know she was Buttercup until I brought that up. I guess she didn't bring it up. And of course, Bubbles is Tara Strong, who is, I think, the most prominent voice actress.
Everyone knows who Tara Strong is at this point.
She's everyone. I'm Tara Strong right now. You'll never know. It's me.
My favorite thing Tara Strong has done online is that Come Closer vine. I sent it to Dave once because I know he thinks she's quite lovely. She is pretty. But it's have you seen that vine where it's like her posing like, come a little closer and I'll tell you something. Closer. Then she just pulls out the Timmy Turner voice.
Come closer so I can tell you something. Closer.
I'm a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. She's got quite the humor on her. She's
and actually, I will admit, I'll get my other controversial opinion out of the way because I guess there is one thing I now see eye to eye with my mom, and I'm sorry, Bubbles' voice drives me up the wall. Mainly when she's getting energized because she just starts screeching everything. It's like Miss Piggy on helium. I'm gonna put a montage to the final episode. Like, you were beaten by cute little Bubbles. I can't do it.
I'll show you the Powerpuff way. You were beaten down, sister, by cute little Bubbles.
But I'm just like, she's adorable when she's just talking.
Just give the entire Mojo monologue from.
Well, that's she's doing the scratchy voice. That's like her doing the impression of Mojo, which is awesome. I'm talking about like regular Bubbles, just when she's getting freaked out or hyper or really emotional.
Yeah.
I can't get.
There's an episode. There's a scene in the movie where they're all in the mood and she starts crying, and it's this. Really
her voice is so high pitched. Tara Strong, you're great, and Bubbles is a good character, but I actually like her new voice more for that reason.
I like the new Buttercup better, and I feel like that's going to be murder for me.
The new voices aren't bad. It is kind of jarring if you grew up on the original.
You know what? I gotta agree with John on that one because after watching the old Powerpuff Girls so much as a kid and so much as a teenager, I can't say kid. Like I got used to hearing the same, hearing Tara Strong and Tom Kenny do just about every voice on that show. Like there were a lot of voices that they did on that show.
But who else was Tara Strong on that show?
She was like a couple background characters as well.
Okay, background. Oh, like
she Sedusa?
No, that was Jennifer Hale.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then going to the reboot of Powerpuff of the regular Powerpuff, well, not regular, of the new Powerpuff Girls, hearing like a multitude of different characters, that's jarring to me, and that I will freely admit is my old man nostalgia.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's really weird hearing actual kids be the girls.
But they're not kids. They're like they're in their 20s.
Well, I mean,
they're younger than the originals, I guess.
Well, aren't the kids? Well, anyway, if they're younger than the older actors. But what I'm saying what I'm saying primarily is that I do like the new voices and the reboot. I actually like Buttercup's voice. It's weird. It's like a weird, grizzled, grumpy, but still kind of a tomboyish.
No, the new voices are pretty good. I don't blame the show's failings on any of them.
Yeah, that's more of a writing kind of issue.
Just a quick thing aside, I'll say is looking up Mojo's voice, because we got to talk Mojo Jojo. He's another guy who doesn't do a ton of stuff, but he pops up in a lot of Telltale games, so I've heard him without knowing it. He is the voice of Ghostface in Scream.
Huh. What's your favorite scary movie?
Yes, anytime that voice is on the phone, that is the voice of Mojo Jojo.
Huh. I want to know what your favorite scary movie is. The one that makes you jump out of your seat at night. The one that makes you scream at the top of your lungs. Oh. That particular film, which is directed by multiple...
That is such a great character trademark.
Where are you? You're in the house, aren't you, Brad? This is Mojo on the other phone.
Mojo,
no, this is not Brad. This is Ghostface. I am not the one you call Brad.
I do love Mojo's... Brad. I do love Mojo's shtick. I rewatched the one where you get his origin story of him being the professor's assistant, and the kidnap letters to this long, like, I took Professor somewhere against his liking. I kidnapped him against his will. I took him and he didn't like it. This letter is from and was written by Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, his monologues were... They were funny. Fucking insane.
One of my favorite episodes of all time is called Just Another Manic Mojo, where you just go through the day of life of Jojo.
And the girls throw a ball in his house.
Yeah, but like the whole beginning part of him just trying to go through his day, taking a shower, then he realizes that one egg left, and he just goes through this whole 2 eggs are minimal nutritional value required for the day.
For a nutritious breakfast, 2 eggs is the minimum requirement, and I have but 1, which is one shy of 2, and it is 2 that I need. Curses. I must immediately purchase some eggs, for I need to have breakfast, and without the eggs I cannot have the breakfast that I so require.
And then he goes to the grocery store and just does a really long ramble like, I need it today, or maybe tomorrow. Something we can all identify with where he's at that light change and everybody's noisy around him. Please change.
There were a lot of really brilliant episodes, and there were a couple slow ones as well.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say right now, I noticed, at least for me, like, I generally don't like the post McCracken seasons. They felt very drawn out.
There are a couple really good ones.
Oh, yeah. I rewatched the one with him making them live their greatest nightmares. That episode's awesome.
Yeah. The last episode of the regular rotation, the one where Mojo Jojo accidentally he was trying to use his shrink ray and then it makes it being a grow ray. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to turn the Powerpuff Girls giant, and they can't do anything because they got to be so delicate to move around the city. Yeah. That was like the last episode of the regular run, and it's actually really good. Okay,
I guess I felt like the plots weren't as inspired. Like, there's also one where like he fuses them all together, and it's not like it's one person. It's just like they're all tied at the waist. So it's like, I feel like that in the big episode, probably the same thing. Like trying to save the day, but being clumsy.
Yeah, the new one also has the one where both the post McCracken is where the one where Mojo and him have a custody battle over who has the rights to the Rowdy Rough Boys.
That's kind of clever, actually.
Yeah.
And at the end, the boys just straight aside, like, let's just be our own thing.
Yeah, their own thing. And that's the infamous gif of...
That's the most evil thing I've ever seen.
That's from that's Post McCracken.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's talk about him.
Yes.
Holy shit.
That was the episode I just got finished watching. Like, I wanted to do, like, a quick refresher.
The custody episode?
No. It was him Riddle Diddle or something.
Oh, I just watched that one, too. That one's great.
Where him basically has all the girls perform all these mundane tasks to solve riddles.
Yeah,
and only so. Yeah, but only so the professor will pay. You have 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, let me just say why I love him. 1, I can't really think of any other villain or character like him. And 2, I still find him genuinely unsettling.
Just starting to bore me, and I'm afraid playtime is over. I know your deepest, darkest fear. You are afraid you cannot defeat me.
I think the combination
going back to the documentary, there's this great thing where Craig McCracken, when he made these characters, built a scale from evil to silly, and he put him purposefully at the very top of most evil character in the entire show.
I mean, he's supposed to be Satan, right?
And then he put the Amoeba Boys in the bottom as like the silliest.
Yeah, their shtick is that they can't.
Everyone goes where they go, and he purposely put Mojo Jojo right in the middle.
That makes sense. Mojo is like the main villain of the show because he can be both a threat and just a goof. every time there's an episode where him has a scheme, it gets into pretty fucked up territory.
It kind of feels that way. Let's be honest. This guy's the devil.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they just couldn't say that because of censors.
He's like the literal devil, and I love that. And seeing what he can do, seeing what him can do, like
pretty much anything.
He can basically bend reality.
Yes.
Or like teleport, throw the girls in like terrible situations,
influence
make
minds
clones of people, and he is just the most goddamn petty villain I have ever seen.
Like his entire scheme in that real episode is just because okay, guys, another thing. I'm pretty sure he legit has a crush on Professor Utonium. Does anybody remember the episode where he makes everybody hate them?
He licks
and there's a distinct close-up of him slowly licking the professor's cheek. And at the end, he's really sad the professor's leaving his flapjack plate. It's like, come back, I'll make my flapjacks cheaper.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He did lick the professor's face.
Yeah, there's some stuff in this where you're like, how did you... What?
I forgot. Like, I saw it when I was a kid, but
this show got away with a lot.
Yeah, I completely
They made a
forgot about
condom
it.
joke in one of the episodes.
Yes, and the one where they get that friend who's like a normal girl, and like he made us in his lab by accident. Oh, don't worry, Professor, I was an accident too.
Oh God, Jesus! So many.
The Miss Bellum episode where Sedusa is impersonating her and seducing the mayor. There's like he's holding a pencil. And it's like she says something like, "It's what's important is how you use it." Sticking it in a vibrating pencil sharpener, and Mayor's like just vibrate.
Oh man,
it's nuts.
Jeez, we got okay, man.
I love the explanation for Sarah Bellum. The reason why they never showed her face.
What was the explanation?
So basically, there's this whole point. It's a kind of old time that you never showed the best part of a woman. And with Sarah Bellum, it's her mind.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's her name. She's named after part of the brain. But just to finish up about him, like, one thing I remember hearing early on, because I would, like, pay attention to, like, people talking about the show online, Craig McCracken's inspiration for him was, have either of you ever seen Yellow Submarine?
No.
I'm aware of it.
The villains in it are called the Blue Meanies, and I swear to God, the main one talks and acts just like him, where's that thing of like being very calm and sing-songing, and then on a dime, just like, Argh!
Oh.
Well, that's yeah. Craig McCracken specifically says in all the villains are inspired by something.
Yes.
Like Fuzzy Lumpkins is straight up like a strawberry shortcake, or no, Rainbow Bright villain. I can't remember.
That little fluffy.
Oh yeah, Urkel Merkel or something. Urky Murky.
Yeah,
that's always a character I go to instinctively when I think of Jim Cummings. Get off my property. He's good at playing rednecks.
Mm-hmm.
Fuzzy Lumpkins, I think, is really underrated because they don't play up the whole like he's a dumb redneck that just wants to get off property. But when he gets pissed off and turns giant and red,
the episode where he becomes mayor.
That's legit fucking terrifying.
Yes,
when I first saw him do
the episode where he becomes mayor, they definitely play up the redneck aspect. But what are some other villains you guys wanted to bring up?
Well, we haven't really talked about. Well, I guess we talked about Mojo already.
He is awesome.
I guess we can talk about Princess for a little bit.
One of my favorite episodes is when she gets introduced.
Yeah, that ends with the DBZ fight.
Oh, the Dragon Ball fight was fucking amazing.
Blossom tilting her head, and that was a Frieza thing apparently.
There was a Piccolo thing. Piccolo first did it,
and they do like
Dragon
fast-paced like punches
during the early episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
but even before that, when Princess comes in and she starts throwing her weight around and she like yells at a gerbil or something, the gerbil like goes fucking insane and like goes careening off the table, and the girls jump into action and Blossom yells, "Quick girls, fastball special!" and they legit do the X-Men move with Wolverine and Colossus. It's fucking great.
Yeah, Blossom has code names for all their moves. Like I remember there's one where she goes Alpha Omega Atari. And actually, we'll get back to Princess. Let's finish Princess first. Then we should talk about the girls themselves.
I mean, Princess, I think the great episode where, basically, in order to get Princess to give up like a secret key or something like that, the Powerpuff Girls overnight takes every earthly possession in her mansion.
That's the episode where she becomes mayor and makes crime legal to spite them. They like turn about as fair play, and they take all her stuff and say, "You don't get it back unless you get it back to the mayor."
Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite Princess episode.
Yeah, like she wakes up in the middle of the night. I want some water on the rocks.
I like the fact that in the first episode when they beat Princess and Blossom gives her the spiel about you're a spoiled brat and this is what it means to be a hero and yada yada, and they have like the great music playing. They legit send a whole little girl to prison. What was her crime?
I'm sure she got out the next day. She's rich.
I'm sure she did too.
The episode where they give Princess actual superpowers via Mojo Jojo, and they yell at each other from the top of the volcano to down at the limousine.
I can pay you a lot of money. What? I'm not a baboon.
There were a lot of great villains in this show.
Yeah, some one-offs.
Was it the Lady Liberty
yes,
figure?
Femme Fatale.
Femme Fatale, yeah.
That's a good episode. Although for a second, I thought you were talking about the episode where they all come up with their own superhero personas and Blossom becomes like Liberty Bell. That's a good one.
I like that when Buttercup basically tried to do Spawn and Batman at the same time,
and they're all terrible at it because Blossom wants to drive a car, but gets stuck in rush hour. Bubbles can only do a pogo stick, so it takes her all day. And Buttercup's like, no, ninjas go out in the day. I wait till night.
Yeah. I also liked when Galactus made a special guest appearance on the show.
Is that the one where Mojo has to team up with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end, he's making it say, "Uncle, you were the most evil."
Yeah, and
then he ends up saving the day, ironically.
Which is not happy about.
He beats the crap out of him with a baguette. That that was the first fucking time that I said my mind was blown because the camera does these really awesome zoom-ins.
Even with like Monster of the Day type stuff, they can do like really. Do you remember the Dynamo episode where they put a giant robot and literally destroy all of Townsville?
There's that part they dwell on where like they shoot a blimp on fire and it falls into a stadium of screaming people. They dwell on it.
Oh God! Like
at the end, the mayor's like, "Thank you for saving the day, but you blew up the entire town."
There's actually another episode where they get a different mayor, like for like a day or two. I can't remember. And basically, they make a point about how they stopped a thief that stole $400, and they did $3 million worth of property damage.
Oh, is that the one where they moved to Citiesville?
That's what it is.
Yeah. And the mayor's like actually responsible, and people are shitty there. So when Blossom blows up a bridge to stop a robber, and he's like, "Are you goddamn crazy? No more superpowers."
Yeah, Felipe. Yeah, you're not kidding around when about the violence and everything. Like the him diddle diddle episode. Him basically tells the girls to go make the townspeople cry.
Yes,
and Buttercup just goes nuts.
Beats up on an old man.
She just starts. She kicks. She is in the background kicking a lady in the teeth.
She says
multiple times.
And she says, "1 down, 10 million to go."
But you want to know the crazy thing? I think like for all like the spears going through heads, like brain exploding things, I think the most violent and dark thing I've ever seen in Powerpuff was in the movie when Mojo Jojo kidnaps the professor and like the girls chase him in the tower, and Mojo cranks his neck ever so slightly. And like I think for a second, like, is Mojo Jojo gonna break the professor's neck?
Is Mojo gonna have to choke a bitch?
He did. The girl,
it's just a slight motion. Slight motion. I'm like, that was the darkest thing ever. Like, I've seen exposed brain and broken teeth and blood everywhere, but that
I was
really
more focused on him jabbing that needle into his brain for
that was dark too.
That was pretty. I think the most effective action part of that whole movie is in that final showdown where there's a part where like Mojo, I guess, can fire like rapid fire razor hairs, and there's like a brief moment of Blossom like rapid fire swatting away, like going It's awesome. And actually, we've talked a lot about the villains. Okay, let's talk favorite thing. Do you guys have a favorite of the three girls? What, Chris?
Blossom.
Okay, we're on the same page. Felipe.
I mean, I know the show is basically the Bubbles and Blossom show because Buttercup doesn't really get a lot of play.
Buttercup is, let's face it, she's a bitch.
I mean, I like Buttercup.
No, I like her, but she's.
I mean,
harsh.
I don't exactly. Well, she did kick that lady in the face, and she did punch that old man.
What about the tooth episode where she keeps trying to knock out Bubbles' teeth and the villain's teeth just to get tooth fairy money?
But Buttercup gets a lot more screen time in the newer iteration.
She's really great in the new one.
Yeah, She gets a lot of good one-liners.
I think
in the one.
I realized because like, I like Blossom. She's the smart one. She's the geek of the group. And then I also remembered, well, my favorite Ninja Turtle is Donatello. So I went.
Oh, my favorite as well.
What?
My favorite as well. Donatello is.
Yeah, so I think this made me go like I lean towards the geek because I am one. Except for Billy the Blue Ranger, he was too much.
Aw, man, I like more phenomenal. John.
I like him, but he wasn't my favorite.
More phenomenal. Oh, Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One thing really quickly I think also is great about Powerpuff Girls is the fact that they all harmonize really well. There's a lot of music in this, and
Yeah.
the songs throughout are really well done.
Yeah, you mentioned in another episode that it has a very cool, unique synthy score, and I actually looked up the composer was a guy named James Van Abel, who also worked on Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack, and I went, oh, what's he done lately? Scary Movie 5.
Which is weird because like he's on the documentary as well. He's so excited to talk about Powerpuff Girls. He had the idea like I want to mix 1950s superheroes with 90s techno.
Yeah, I keep remembering that. Me too. They were like, and
like
even just talking sound, the noise the Powerpuffs make when they do that dash of light. Like I can't make it with my mouth, and I don't know how they made it. And it also makes.
I think the more striking is whenever they hit like a really hard hit, you hear that tornado sound effect. Like I don't know how to replicate it.
It's almost like Smash Brothers, yeah. But also everybody also remembers whenever they do an episode titled drums and
Oh, the drum and bass that made me think like a Toonami was about to do another promo for Dragon Ball.
They did show Powerpuff Girls on Toonami.
They did, but I love that.
Yeah.
Man, it got me so pumped. I was like, this is going to be a good episode, even if it wasn't.
Okay, and we're approaching our time limit, so one thing I want to say, we'll move on to Sims in a second. I just want to bring up a handful of episodes I wrote where, on very, 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 very rare occasions, the show got super dark, like surprisingly. I wrote down 3.
Heck, there was one episode that was banned because it was
the Gnome episode.
See Me, Feel Me, Know Me, which is a giant Tommy acknowledgement, which I love.
I think I heard they pitched it as a rock opera, and apparently they originally were hoping to get Jack Black to voice the Gnome.
It was written with Jack Black in mind because one of the writers was friends with Jack Black, but literally just as the episode was about to go into production, School of Rock happened.
Yeah, and so they got Jess Harnell to do a really good Jack Black impression.
He's a really good singer in general.
Yeah, I like him.
And the songs in that are great, by the way.
Yeah, I have some of them on my iPod. But it's also very heavy because it basically goes into like the idea of cults and losing your individuality to these big like authoritative figures under the guise.
Not the best song, but the whole representation is the whole freedom beef.
Yes,
thing.
Professor's song.
Yeah.
Sacrificing all their hopes and dreams. The other two.
So the reason why they didn't show it was because
it's never been straight up confirmed
why.
why.
They never said why. Some people say it's because of the cult. Say it's because the whole touch has the professor literally turning cows into steaks, and then some say it's just the flashing lights throughout.
Yeah,
that episode is very strobe heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just such a unique beast of an episode. They might not have known what to do with it once they saw the final part. But so the other two, one, does anyone remember the episode where they time travel into the future where him took over everything? And
yes, and everything is destroyed, and it's like, it's not our fault.
It ends with a bunch of like zombified townsfolk just coming out saying it's your fault over and over until the girls break down crying and run back.
I think, wasn't Miss Keen the last one and that broke them?
No. It was, they saw Miss Keen, the professor, and you see Miss Bellum clutching the mayor's like hat. He's dead. And then they realize it's a great part where Kim comes out and tells them like, it was easy. You left, I took over. And it just really affected him because they beat the crap out of him. So he like falls face down the ground. There's a pause. And then he just immediately puts his face back up and goes, "Are you quite done yet?" Like he wasn't phased at all. And then he turns, just for no reason, but it's awesome, into this huge hulking like beast form for a brief minute. I wish they'd showed again. That episode like kind of threw me for a loop because I watched that when it premiered as a kid. I was like, this is not a direction I ever imagined the show taking, but I love it.
Wow.
It's called Speed Demon.
It's called Speed Demon.
Because it's just the girls. Initially, it was just the girls are trying to race each other.
Yes, they're about to on summer vacation,
and they run so fast they go forward in time.
They break the space-time barrier and end up 50 years in the future where they were gone and him destroyed everything. It's fucked up. And the other one, it's not an episode that gets crazy until the last 5 minutes. Remember the episode with Professor Dick Hardley making the bootleg Powerpuffs?
Dick Hardley.
Yes, they made bootleg Powerpuffs.
He's an old total asshole friend, like college friend of Utonium's. And when he discovers like how Powerpuff Girls were made, he just like cheaply and quickly
he mass produces Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, and because he starts like getting harsh about it, there's a montage where like they start looking deformed, and he's like, cut the profits are down, cut the sugar down by half. And there's one where like there's a really crazy part where he's going through like a parade of them, and there's like a Buttercup who looks normal, and he's like, "What? This is too good. Melt it down and get the ingredients back." But that's not the crazy part. So at the end, the girls realize all this fucked up stuff he's doing. So they go confront him. He swallows chemical X in the process and turns into a huge monster. Then traps them in a tank. He has technology to drain the chemical from their body, which will kill them. And Professor comes in, and you see all these really grotesque girl clones. They look fucked up. And he says something like, I'll sacrifice myself to make this for you if you just let them go. And he's like, sure, but they stay with me. But when he tells the girls he loves them, the clones revolt. They're like, you never loved us. You weren't the father you should have been. And they take him down. The whole place goes up in smoke. And the clones and the guy all die.
Oh, God, you just reminded me when they accidentally make a fourth...
the bunny episode.
Oh, yeah, they did.
That's another one.
Girl. She was big, and she had a pink purple outfit.
She was mentally handicapped. I think she was voiced by Christine Cavanaugh too, who was doing Dexter. Only she's just going "Hey, Bunny!"
Yeah, her name was what
Bunny.
It was Bunny.
Oh, Bunny. Okay.
And at the end, she does save the day from problems they're having, but she blows up because she was unstable. And that's the end.
That was a really sad one.
Yeah, it had sad moments.
I don't see a lot of that in the new one, and I know they
don't see any of that
because the new one is played more for jokes, and I was looking it up. Again, none of the people that worked on the original, at least the Dance Pen special that came out 3 years ago, even though it wasn't Craig McCracken involved at all, the director behind it was someone who was a storyboarder on the original Powerpuff.
And they had the old cast back for that one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While this, it could have been Powerpuff Girls Z.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the spin-offs now.
Well,
yeah, I remember when that first was announced, everybody thought it was announced on April Fool's Day, and everybody thought it was a joke.
Uh-huh.
I watched it in Japanese when it came out, and there were a few things about. First of all, the girls weren't created; they were literally just given chemical Z.
Yeah, and they aren't related either.
No.
Yeah.
On top of that, Mojo Jojo in the original Japanese, he didn't talk like he does Mojo Jojo. He would just say a sentence and end it with the word Mojo.
Yeah, when I read that synopsis and heard that Mojo was basically just being a Pokemon half, I was
Mojomon.
I know it's okay to go in a different direction for things when you're trying to do a spin-off, or even if you're trying to do a reboot, and that's fine, but it kind of has to be good too.
Right.
And Powerpuff Girls Z didn't sound good. I didn't watch too much of it.
I just rewatched the first episode because a lot of it's on YouTube, and I'll give it credit for three things. It has one funny moment where the first time they show up to fight Mojo, who has hostages, the hostages all go, "Can we just have your autograph?" And they stop fighting, and then Mojo wants theirs, "No, you're a villain." Two, I think the character designs are kind of cool. The girls look appealing. It's not.
Oh, yeah, designs are super cool.
Yeah, it's cute, and they look expressive and stuff. And three, there's some good songs. When I heard that they have a Sailor Moon transformation sequence, and I went and found the OST for that song, which this cool
Oh, right. Now, do you remember a long time ago? You may or may not remember. There's a whole bunch of Powerpuff Girl comics that were out, and one of the more prominent ones was one that was made by a guy named Bleed Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that came first. And a lot of people wonder if that had anything to do. I doubt it, but
yeah. Well, the designs looked really awesome, and I did.
Yeah, it was. Looking back, it wasn't written well, but it was very stylish.
Nah, but
and he's only gone more downhill, and he's turned out to be a real creepy motherfucker.
But back when you mentioned about the theme songs and everything, one thing I really got to give the new one credit. That theme song fucking rocks. I gotta admit, I love the visuals and I love the music.
Yeah, it looks cool visually.
Yeah, and I'm pretty easy to please. So when I see fluid animation right next to pretty poppy rock, I'm like, that's cool. I can dig that. And then I watch it and I'm like, maybe not so much.
Well, the thing is, the animation for the show and the animation for the intro were done by two completely different...
Yeah, that's for sure.
Different companies. Oh,
yeah.
Studios. I was going to say, because we mentioned music, did either of you ever have that soundtrack, Heroes and Villains?
I had it on download via 4chan years later.
It's cool. It was made.
The only thing annoying about it was that they would it was the full soundtrack, the OST of the show, but they would intersplice voice clips of the voice actors saying something random. Here's this awesome guitar mix of Buttercup's themes. How about a taste of Buttercup?
That one's the city
that's City of Soundsville. Yeah.
Heroes and Villains was released in the middle of the show's popularity, and basically they got a bunch of artists to make original songs based on the show, and they got some crazy picks. Frank Black did a song, "Better Pray for the Girls." That's really awesome. My favorite is Devo did a song about Mojo.
Oh, Debo.
Go, monkey,
Boy.
go. And the one annoying thing is that it's not the same of having voices interrupt, but it has like a frame story to it of the girls fighting Mojo. So in between, before and after songs, you have like the narrator and the girls talking. And you just sent us the documentary. Thank you. Oh, can we just talk about that narrator?
The narrator's great.
Tom Kenny.
Yeah.
They don't use him that much in the new show, which
They don't.
because he's an integral part of this. I love when
Yeah.
the characters would interact.
Yeah, they were aware of him. And I
Yeah.
think there's an episode in the later seasons where Mojo kidnaps him and replaces his role. And at the end, when the girls untie him, it's from his point of view, so you still don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, there's actually a great episode like that starts like there's an episode with Gangrene Gang or a bunch of prank callers. We haven't even mentioned the Gangrene Gang.
Oh,
Holy
those
crap.
guys.
Where they prank call the narrator at the opening of the show, and the whole episode is the Gangrene Gang
Yes.
take the mayor's office and prank call the Powerpuff Girls to do all sorts of random crap and interrupt guys on their days off and things like
And the
that.
professor's on hold all day because he thinks he just won $10 million.
Yes.
But the narrator, I feel like there's something else I want to. But anything else you guys want to mention?
I think, let's see. Do you guys have any favorite episodes?
Yes.
I know I mentioned that the princess episode is one of my favorites, but I have like 4 others.
Like it just goes to more Mojo Jojo. There's an episode called where, as community service, Mojo Jojo has to teach foreigners how to speak English. This was like season 5.
I never saw that one.
Or basically, again, the season 5 and 6 are hit or miss, but when they hits, we're basically okay. First thing they say is, okay, tell me your names. Like Rodrigo, wrong. When you tell me your name, I want as much information as physically possible. And so the entire town starts speaking like Mojo Jojo, and the girls are confused. Like, technically, there's not a crime happening, but
It's annoying.
This is exactly. And what they end up doing is, who is the person that speaks the best English in Townsville? The talking dog.
Yes.
He teaches everybody how to speak like.
Well, I may be able to talk, but I sure as heck can't drive.
It's good.
And follow the quote,
good.
Bubbles, have mercy. Mercy is for the weak.
Oh, that dog. I love that dog.
What is his story? We will never know.
I know. Oh,
I like it that way.
The episode where the Rowdy Rough Boys first appeared, and
good one.
And you got that shot where the boys basically just fucking rocket the girls right down into the city, and they're just cratered like a whole bunch of feet below. I was kind of waiting for the citizens to turn to the Rowdy Rough Boys to go, monkey, monkey, and they all start chanting monkey from Dexter's Lab.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
That was just me then. Okay, that's fine.
That was just you. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I would say my favorite episode.
I mean, the Justice Friends do appear in an episode
Yes,
of
there's
Powerpuff.
an episode where they try to join the Justice Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember they didn't show Crunk in it for some reason. Maybe Marvel threatened to sue or something. Because there was an episode of Dexter's Lab that got a monkey that got pulled because it had a Galactus ripoff that was too close.
All right.
Barbecue or something. Or there was also like a gay Silver Surfer, so it was like a monkey. But my favorite episode, at least of the ones I revisited, do you remember the one where Mojo babysits them?
Yes.
And he makes sushi.
It's gold, like from beginning to end. Because the first time I saw it, like he starts out, he's in jail, so they call the mayor for a babysitter. He's too busy playing Ocarina of Time, killing his own fairy, and so he just calls the police chief, hey, get a babysitter. And so Mojo's like, first thing I command you to do is take over Townsville. But the girls just treat him like shit for the entire episode.
The episode where, like, I tell sometimes I'm sorry. Story of Napoleon. They all fact correct.
Yes, he goes like he conquered the entire world. The end, and then they all like a solid minute of each girl. Like I get lost in knowing this. How did the other two know so much about Napoleon? Like Buttercup, like he died of miserable death of stomach cancer. Stupid. Or watching Blarney the sea serpent.
Blarney the sea serpent.
If I was a bunny, I'd hop 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 hop.
If I were a fish, I would scream.
Fish don't scream, but it's so goddamn funny because they start incorporating Mojo. If I were a hammer, I'd hammer. If I were a candle, I'd stop. It's so good, and like he actually puts genuine effort into making that sushi, and then they all just spit it on his face like this stinks.
He said sushi. And as a kid, I was like, I want to try that.
At the end, they eventually just start beating the shit out of him for no reason.
Yeah,
like they're such assholes in this episode, but it's great. It's a villain, so it's okay. I love it.
I really liked. I have a whole bunch. The second comes to like the really emotional or the really fun and imaginative rainy day episode. Guys, I thought that was
Great
goddamn
one.
adorable.
Very meta.
But my all-time favorite has to be Supervillain, where their neighbors has that one guy who's just a regular
You'll never
average
guess
Joe.
what's for breakfast. Pancakes. I hate you.
I hate you, Dad.
Family stinks. Nobody appreciates me.
No one understands me. He has like a shitty kid and a shitty job.
And so
but
he finally just puts on that bathrobe. It's like, I'm going to melt the professor's head. Finish that bee.
I'm like, dude, your hairdryer. I'm sorry, your gun is not plugged in.
Yeah, I actually
what
wondered
are you
if,
going to do?
if the twist is going to be that it actually didn't work, but maybe we don't find out. He gets arrested. And then they do that sequel episode where the whole family tries to take them down. There's that great part, like, they wreck the house. It's like, oh, what happened? Where none of us are hurt, and that's all that matters. There's that, like, awkward moment. Harold, get everybody in the car! I don't care that they're getting. Like, the girls are just going like, ugh. Oh, no, at the end, like,
meet the
why
Beatles. We can't get away with
last thing
that.
I'll say, at the end of the Evil Family episode, it's like, why are you doing this? You ruined my dinner. That's it. That's not a good reason. Okay, yeah, the Beatles episode.
Yeah, you said the Beatles?
Just
Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, we can't end this episode without mentioning that episode. And
half
how
my Beatles
brilliant!
knowledge came from that.
Yes.
Chris, do you remember that one?
Yeah, there was a song at the end, wasn't there?
No,
No, there was
but
no song. It was just a bunch of references to the Beatles.
Yeah, the premise is that Mojo, him, Fuzzy, and Princess.
The sergeant of Townsville Police was Sergeant Pepper.
He was modeled after the guy from Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
Like, McCracken is obviously a big Beatles fan.
And they split up the Beatles by having a female monkey fall in love
Mojo
with Mojo Jojo.
Jojo.
Apparently John. And they do they do this. There's just one really quick throwaway line where they're sleeping in bed in the middle of the street, and it's like, "Hey Mojo, why are we doing this? Now stop. Imagine all the people and how annoyed they will be."
It's all right because they're all white.
They all beat the girls like in a nice rhythmic fashion, but one of them had a really shitty weapon.
Fuzzy has a rock.
Fuzzy had a rock.
That's the finishing blow.
That's right. Fuzzy brought the rock.
Everybody else is shooting lasers, and he just throws a rock on them to stop them. And I think all Professor Utonium's lines in it are lyrics.
Yeah.
He just goes,
Like-
"Girls, you gotta let it be."
I just read the news
Yesterday,
today.
all our trouble seemed so away.
Yes, I'm
Now
certain it happens
seems
all the
they're
time.
Here to stay.
Honestly, when I first played Beatles Rock Band, because I don't know much about them, there were so many times where lyrics would happen, I would go, oh, that's what the Beatles was referencing.
Yeah. As a kid, I didn't know much about the Beatles, but I did hear a few songs, and I knew what they were referencing. And then later on, I was getting to the music, and I was like, all right, I got you. All right, cool.
I knew when it aired what they were referencing, what in general, there was a Beatles thing, but there's that part where Mojo's just screaming in the street to irritate people, and there's like a bunch of quick cuts of random people, and for a brief second you see the Yellow Submarine cartoon versions of the Beatles.
Yeah. It's a good one. It was fucking brilliant, dude. I missed that show.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I still stand by. There are a lot of clunkers in it that I can't even remember most of them.
Yeah,
but I think one of the biggest risk failure episodes is the one where they try to do a steampunk back in time Powerpuff Girls
I never
episode.
watched that one.
This was like season 6. I remember there's they're gonna do like a steampunk Powerpuff Girls alternate universe take, and it was just it flopped.
I remember
sucked.
my big one was when they finally brought back the Rowdy Rough Boys, and their first episode where they return is dog shit. It's like 20 minutes of gross out gags. Like they go giant, so like drop a loogie on them, drop a scab on them. Have you seen what?
The 10-year anniversary episode where they properly ended the show.
Is that the Rule the World episode?
Powerpuff Girls Rule, where there's a key to the world, and whoever gets it rules the world. I didn't really like it. And I like the ending. The episode as a whole kind of sucked, but I like the ending where basically Mojo Jojo now rules the world. What is he going to do? He brings peace to the world.
What? He's moved past, it's like it turns out he's moved past the have monkeys take over agenda.
No, like it's implied that he's always wanted to rule the world, to bring peace to it.
And then at the end, he decides it's boring and goes back to being evil.
Bullshit! He takes people hostage. You just
a means to an end.
Trying to break the professor's neck.
A means to an end. The greater good. It's not a great special. Though I did like it was made after Foster's or while it was in production. So like there's a crowd shot where like, the girls are looking through crowds and you see Mac and Blue just pop up and like wave hi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and you see Miss Bellum's face for half a second.
Yeah, her lips and
no,
one
she
eyeball.
has eyes. She just doesn't have a nose.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Do the girls have noses?
I don't think so.
I know they have fingers because they.
I think it's a Krillin complex.
It is a Krillin
They have a
complex.
nose.
Yeah.
They don't have a nose.
I love
Yeah,
like there's
there's
an episode where Blossom snaps her fingers, and the one where Fuzzy becomes mayor, he takes the mayor's hat. At the end, when Mayor gets back, he places the hat like 3 inches above his head, but you still hear a little like plop. A lot of fun visual humor there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of good feels from the older episodes, and I didn't really get into the newer season.
The post McCracken
came
ones.
out. Yeah, the post McCracken.
Yeah, I don't recommend them.
4 and 5 has some high spots, but I think as a whole, like the box set. I hope it's still cheap because I bought it for like $60 when I bought it.
I'm kind of
the whole show's on Hulu now.
And on top of that, yeah. But if you buy the box set, it also has the documentary, which is a must-watch. Has every commercial bumper, every music video. It has Apples in Stereo and Go Monkey Go. The actual music videos on there.
I didn't realize until my wife told me, but Lou Romano was like one of the background artists. I mean, this is like useless information here.
Who is that?
Lou Romano was a background artist on Powerpuff Girls. He went on to work on the Samurai Jack reboot, but he also was part of visual. He was also a visual development artist on The Incredibles, and he was Alfredo on Ratatouille.
Wait, which one was Alfredo?
Linguini? Oh, Alfredo was the son of the chef.
Linguini.
I'm sorry, Linguini.
I guess Alfredo was his first name. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that guy.
Linguini Alfredo?
Well, they call him Linguini.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm yelling. My wife is giving me information.
I will say that the fact that this worked up in both Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack leads to more. Is Professor Jack?
Yeah, we're getting some bad audio quality, just so you know.
No problem.
Yeah,
you're good now.
Yeah, the audio went kind of crazy there.
You're
for
good
a
now.
second.
It's not like the So Dave incident.
Yeah, could you repeat
I'm just gonna say I love this. I was gonna say that background artists in both Samurai Jack and Powerpuff Girls leads to more Jack is plutonium.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
When you said it again, your audio went wonky again. I think that line is cursed.
I think it is too.
Okay, I'm done then.
Yeah, but real short. So we all recommend the original series.
Yes.
I do recommend the movie, but I prefer the show. Chris, you definitely recommend the movie.
I mean, I love the movie up until the bullshit ending where Mojo just kind of like turns back to normal and that's
Antidote X.
Yeah, it's bullshit, but I love the entire movie.
It's worth watching.
Like the whole show is just so visually striking, and its jokes are so fucking good.
That's a problem I have with the reboot. It looks bland visually.
Yeah, it kind of does.
At least the special they went for a different look. This one they're kind of half-hearted. Like, yeah, it's kind of the old show. Yeah, it's kind of not.
Like the new humans look like they stepped out of like Clarence. It's strange.
Yeah,
they do kind of have like these weird oblong shapes, and I do. There are things I do like about the new version. I mean, I do dig the super hyper colorized vibrancy of the show. What I don't like is kind of the shot direction, because coming off of Powerpuff Girls as a nostalgic old fogey that I am, I love just those static frames of people looking at the sky and the rain just coming down on their faces, and it kind of looks like.
Oh, this show is 100% stylized. I think one big thing is the models are the same, but like the art style is not, because like this show had thick black lines outside of their characters.
Yeah, they did.
Which this show doesn't have, which almost makes it strike it as weird.
Yeah, apparently the old art direction, because it also applied to Dexter's Lab and a bunch of other shows, it was heavily inspired by UPA, who made like Gerald McBoing and other like 60s shorts, as well as stuff like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at Rocky and Bullwinkle and you can see that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so we all recommend that. I don't think we so much recommend the reboot or anime. Actually, do either of you recommend the reboot?
The reboot, it has its moments, but honestly, it's not worth digging into for it.
I mean, if you've seen like a lot of Cartoon Network shows by this point, like if you're coming into it like you coming into like Adventure Time, and a lot
even compared to other Cartoon Network shows,
like Universe,
the Steven Universe, even Clarence and Teen Titans Go, like it's not the worst thing on Cartoon Network right now, because freaking. There's
Chris,
a lot.
I know you like Teen Titans Go.
It's not, but what kind of gets my goat about it is just the dialogue trees, where it's like, dude, bro, OMG, that kind of thing.
The meme references.
It comes off as stale and
try too hard.
It's not truthful.
Other than an N64 showing up in one episode, the original is kind of timeless.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's subtle references. Okay, no, there's not one. There's a not subtle reference. The end of the Boogeyman episode is the Death Star trench run. Remember that?
Oh man, the Boogeyman episode.
You're all clear, kid. Now blow this disco
Yeah.
ball so we can go back to bed.
Yeah, you're right. That was kind of. They did have like a Death Star rolling around there.
But it was still pretty funny, unlike the stuff. So thank you, Felipe. Again, thanks so much for joining us. This has been a blast of an episode. Chris, I'm sorry we've gone a little past the target time.
Nah, it's fine.
But Felipe, where can people obviously listen to Generation Animation? Where can people
listen
find
to
you?
Generation Animation. They can follow me at Fizucker. I tweet a lot about specifically you want to learn about like fighting games and music stuff. That's kind of like my forte, and wrestling. And I think that the last thing I tweeted about was more Sonic stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'll never forget how the way I got Chris and Tyler to initially bond was to bring up the WWE Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah, I mean, every so often I'll kind of drop on your timelines and say something funny. And I hope you guys don't think I'm stalking you on Twitter, just like dropping.
Don't worry about it, man.
Okay.
Twitter's for interactions like that kind of stuff, anyways.
Okay.
I'm generally more about just posting my own stuff these days because I'm pretty busy.
Yeah. So, but just in general, follow me at Fizucker on Twitter. And
on Tumblr,
for the
too.
time being, because I don't think GenerationAnimation.com is where weird like growing pains of our reboot, fanoffmedia.com is our new home for the
and you can still find them on directories like iTunes if you want just to
of course
download
yes
episodes. And Chris, where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter at Chris Top the Wade.
Yes, no H. And
there is an H.
After the P, there's no H.
Yes, that's exactly
Chris
what it is.
Stop the Wade.
Yeah, they can find me there. You can find me on Facebook at Christopher Wade. My profile should be public. Yeah, that's it.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, DeviantArt, Newgrounds, and other stuff I don't even remember. I use Behonkis for pretty much everything. BEHONKISS. I'll be including a link to the Crash Bandicoot review in this if you want to see how I go about reviews. And I'm sure me and Chris will talk more about other personal projects sometime. And I still encourage people, if you haven't already, watch The Will of Monsters, Chris's passion project featurette. It's really good.
Yay, thank you.
So that brings episode 15 to an end. As I've said, next time, I don't know if I said it on the air or if I said it between you and Felipe. I threw a bunch of suggestions to Chris for what the next episode could be. And when he just quoted one back to me in all caps, I knew we had to do it. It's not going to be another single series or movie review. We're going to talk about some of our favorite emotional moments in animation.
Oh, boy.
And I'm really curious to see what lists the two of us come up with.
A lot of Don Bluthisms. Hope you're ready.
I can see that.
Okay, I can't wait to hear all the Bambi, Land Before Time, just like all this stuff going on.
I'm not going to pick Bambi. Chris, you could pick Land Before Time. You've brought that up.
Yeah, I brought up Land Before Time a couple of times. Bambi didn't really affect me too much.
No, I think by the time I saw Bambi, I knew.
I'm a wuss. I cried at Lion King 2.
Yes, you did.
Wow, I don't remember a sad part of Lion King 2. Of course, I don't remember
Deception,
when
the
Kovu
exile,
got
man.
us down.
Oh, right, yeah.
They kicked Kovu out of the Pride Lands, and I
That's
got
right.
really sad.
I forgot. That was kind of a sad part. I personally did not cry though. I'm sorry.
I didn't cry at the first Lion King. I guess I'm dead inside.
You're a monster. How dare you not cry when James Earl Jones is tossed
It's
off
just
a
like how I
cliff.
didn't cry at Up in Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Then I cried
Up?
at Inside Out and Finding Dory. So I don't know.
Wow, that's weird.
We'll talk about that.
I personally did not cry during Inside Out or Finding Dory.
There you go.
Nah.
Opposite ends of a coin.
Opposite ends, yeah.
But thank you everyone for listening to us talk about Powerpuff Girls. Mom, I'm sorry if you listened to this episode, but hopefully this will make you understand why I love this thing so much.
Aw.
But I am John Fleury.
I'm Christopher Wade.
And I'm Felipe Diaz-Vera.
And once again, the day is saved. Thanks
to
to Sketch Watch Play.
Are you gonna play the song?
Do you remember the episode?
Hunkus, he is the larger leader.
When I was a kid, I couldn't understand the lyrics. I thought it was
the loud guy.
I thought the lyrics were Blossom, commander of the leader, Bubbles, she does enjoy underwater, Buttercup, when she's atop the spacer, Powerpuff
What
Save
is
the Day.
this? What is
Yeah.
this bad dub of Powerpuff Girls?
I couldn't understand the lyrics.
What? You're just reading the subtitles like
No.
It doesn't matter. It's just the important part, which is fighting.
That's pretty clear.
Awesome.
Okay, no, we're not going to end this episode by just saying that. We're going to cut it off right now. 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 We're going to cut it off right now.